moving forward probably a year in the process, I blew the car up. It was my own fault. I missed some key things that you should probably not do. So I cut the pan, obviously, and took about, like, I'd say a quart of volume out of it. And what happened was I just filled it up to where the dipstick said full, and then totally forgot about it. But that's what happens. That's part of the game. Yes, if you can see, I basically took out a quart and then ran it how it is. And that's not, and then proceeded to never change the oil for the entire year that I drove it. Dailied it, basically. It was perfect. My own fault. But it was hard for me to like do the maintenance on it because I didn't know if it was gonna last. Because A, I was tuning it. It was gonna blow up any day. It never did because of that. Ooh, before I get rid of this, I should show. This is basically what happened. It spun a bearing in the bottom end because of lack of oil. My bad. So some updates since it blew up and what I'm redoing for the next year. I painted the engine bay with just Pour 15 brush on stuff. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look very good either. If you look up real close, it's very fisheye and kind of gross, but super solid stuff. This stuff is no joke. I've heard it's like UV, not good with UV, but that's why it's got a hood on it, so it doesn't matter. I cut the front end off because they were all jagged and the frame rails were all bent, and I'm gonna redo them. These don't look very good, but it's solid, so maybe I'll redo them again. I don't know. But basically, redid the entire like chassis harness. So all that old lines that used to come up here, I basically slimmed them down and ran them through the fenders. These are old moped connectors off of a junk moped. Basically, yeah, headlight harness. Removed all of the ABS stuff, all of the wiring through it, all of the airbag stuff, all the stuff that I would never use. It's all just super slimmed up and uses barely anything anymore. Redid the harness, tucked it, you get the idea. Moving on, I redid a bunch of stuff in the interior. The battery used to sit in the corner here, and I didn't like it because it was inside, you could see it, so I might relocate it down there, and so you can't see it. I put a firewall in because I had a ton of issues with the factory tank. And obviously Radium makes the drop-in top hat thing that resolves everybody's fuel slosh issues, but my issues were more than just fuel slosh. It was the one tank would fill, the other one wouldn't, and then vice versa, and it would slosh to one side and never drain back, and I was tired of dealing with it. My gas gauge would lie to me all the time. It was just a nightmare. So I got rid of it. I went fuel cell. My buddy Eric, bless his soul, gifted this bad girl to me, and that was exactly what I was gonna go with anyways. He was just going a different route, and he had one. Basically made some brackets for it, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a fan of the sump style, like inline pump setups that these usually run. So on eBay, they make this 12-bolt in-tank drop-in top hat dealio, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run that in-tank deal to a surge tank, and then all my issues are gonna be fixed. Now, I spent a lot of time getting this stupid fuel level sensor working correctly. So these cars use 2 level sensors in both sides because of the saddle tank style. Now, if one side reads full and the other side reads empty, the gauge reads half or whatever, and vice versa. So it was a lot of work to figure out how to get this thing to read one sensor correctly. Basically, I had to trick it into thinking either it was full or empty on the one side, and this side worked correctly somehow. And the only problem is this unit, because it's like a different ohms or something, it reads completely backwards. So I had to basically pull the level apart and flip it, and so it would read basically the other way or whatever. But now, either way, it works like factory with the gauge cluster. Super sick. It's all tucked underneath. And yeah, now this may be a little controversial, but I never cared for the handbrake that's like up and down. I had a nice one. It fit really good, but I was always a pull-up style guy. And obviously the handbrake on the factory car like sucks. I used it for a while, it stopped working because obviously like I was beating the crap out of it and it's drums. So I went with the Chase Base handbrake, did that whole thing and wanted to go back. So now I have done something fancy. I made my hydro into a pull-up style with the factory handbrake working. So I gotta redo a couple lines, but overall, that should be really cool. Work like factory, look like factory. I might have to get a center console, or I might just suck it up and make it, like leave it looking like crap. I don't know. That's a later on project for me. I moved the heater controls up into the cubby, and then my boost gauge and stuff will be here. It'll be boost control, or boost gauge, wideband, and then like coolant temp or something. My coolant temp my gauge works on the cluster, but obviously it doesn't show a number, and I don't really trust it. So yeah, definitely got some stuff to do yet. I gotta redo some of the fuel lines, just extend them all the way to the back, make some extra ones. I got a bunch of extra fuel line 6AN stuff from a friend. Got a bunch of stuff left over on my brake lines yet, some other knickknacks and dilly-doos. I moved the firewall here. Not that I really needed to, but it was nicer to have the room, basically. So I had to remount this. I have this bias valve because I removed all the ABS lines and stuff. And I'm gonna do soft lines throughout the whole thing. Yeah, just gotta tidy up some stuff, and it's really coming together. I don't know how I feel about everything, but I just gotta start spending money pretty soon. I've done all of this for nothing, basically. The most expensive stuff I've done is buying tape and loom, and I already had the Pour 15. I already had a lot of this stuff. I just had to take it all off, make it look nicer, put it back together, redo some stuff here and there. It's getting there. But for now, I'm gonna go hang out with some friends, see what they need, if they need any help, just BS, worst case scenario. That's what my favorite thing is to do. So maybe I'll bring you along.
I don't think so.
Eric, what are you working on?
I'm trying to finish my oil drain fitting.
I hate you so much. Nikki, what are you working on?
What?
What are you working on?
Detail pins.
Ooh. Ooh. Just say goodbye.